Good morning, students. This is Mr. Santosh Lodha, and we have already completed. We have already completed our first chapter. Today, we are going to start with our second chapter, that is microeconomics. Second chapter, that is consumer behavior. Before proceeding further, I would like to tell you a few things. Just go through the videos, and if you have any doubt, you can just record it. One page is there wherever you can doubt session page, where you can just note down your doubt. You can just upload your doubts, and then we can call you. Further, if you have any if you have any doubts, you can just ask me through the WhatsApp number. My number is 9727914025. Okay, students. Now today, let's start. That is, what is consumer behavior. So let's start, students. What is consumer behavior? To start with this, first of all, we should know who is consumer. So just see, consumer is the central point, and all the marketing activities revolve around him only. That is, manufacturer will produce the goods only for according to the benefits and according to the wants of the consumer only. So, like overall, we can say the consumer is always differing. I mean to say the customer's behavior. That means it will differ from person to person, because one person may require some other thing, and another person may not require the same thing, whichever is demanded by the person. Once again, we can say that the consumer and the demand will always go together, right? The next thing, you can see so many products might be available in the market, but we cannot say that same person or the different persons will require the same product. There are different products according to the availability or according to the need. The people will choose that product. So this is called consumer behavior. Now here, one more explanation is given for the consumer behavior. You can just see that is like is the study of knowing how individual consumers, groups, or organizations select, buy, use, and dispose ideas, goods, and services to satisfy their needs and wants. In economics, what we are going to study, we are going to study about that how the consumer behavior is changing or just to satisfy their needs and wants. They just want to fulfill their wants and needs. And after fulfilling their wants and needs, whether they satisfy to which level, that's what we are going to study in this particular chapter through the different approaches. We are going to measure the utility, that is what is the utility, and etc etc. We are going to read now in further topics, but first of all, you should know what is that consumer behavior, which is going to change person to person, because the needs and the wants are also changing from person to person. Let's check. Here some slides are given in which you can see. Now this is theory of consumer behavior. To read consumer behavior, we should know what is utility. As just now I said that the person's choice differ from person to person, and the satisfaction will obviously they will derive from whatever product they want. From that only they require, they will derive the satisfaction. And satisfaction here is nothing but utility. You can check the meaning given for utility, that is amount of satisfaction derived from the consumption of commodity. What is utility? Utility is nothing but amount of satisfaction derived from the consumption of a commodity. For example, if a person is very hungry, so at the first, whichever first chapati he will eat, or chapati or whatever, okay, first lot of his meal, whenever he will eat, he will get maximum satisfaction. At the same time, once again, if he'll go for the second chapati, he will not get that much satisfaction, whichever he might have derived from the first chapati. Why? Because he was very hungry, and the first chapati will give him maximum satisfaction. But whereas the second chapati will give him satisfaction to some level, but not up to the same level whichever he got from the first chapati. So, like we can say, the amount of satisfaction derived from the consumption of a commodity. But whatever chapatis he'll consume, the total utility whichever is going to get from the chapatis, that is, we can say, satisfaction. He will satisfy till the time he is utilizing that, or we can say utility derived buy the commodities only to the level till the time he's getting satisfaction. Once the stage will come when he will not require any further, at that time we can say he's getting zero satisfaction. And zero satisfaction means we can say no utility. Right, students? Here, as I said, always the consumer's choices are related to the demand. Whenever the price will be more, the quantity he will buy more. When the price will be low, the quantity he will purchase less. This is just like rational consumer behavior is given. Today in this chapter, we are going to read, actually this chapter related to two main concepts, that is called cardinal approach and another one is ordinal approach. As I said, this chapter is totally depends on utility, right? Now, what is utility? I already told you. So in today, we are going to read only about the cardinal approach. What is cardinal approach? Let's see. Another name for the cardinal approach is Marshall's utility or marginal utility analysis. Why we call it Marshall's utility? Because Marshall is the economist who gave this approach. That is, he said that yes, we can even measure utility also. Whereas in general language, what we are saying, that measure that is happiness, satisfaction cannot be measured. But here, Marshall suggested, he said that we can assume that how much satisfaction we are getting from each and every product. At least we can measure that we got from the consecutive units, whichever we are consuming, the satisfaction derived by each and every I would say unit will keep on declining. That's what Marshall explained through his marginal utility approach. Okay, students. So let's see what is cardinal approach. So two approaches are there in this today's topic, today's lecture. We are going to read about only the cardinal approach. You can see here the meaning is given for both the things. Anyhow, we are going to read both the meaning, but later on, ordinal approach we'll do tomorrow. That is, utility is measurable in a cardinal sense. Cardinal utility means assumes that we can assign value for the utility. That is, whatever utility, that is, whatever satisfaction we have got, we can just assign some value for our satisfaction. We can just say, for example, if you have bought one apple, you can say that that apple you might have bought at 20 rupees. So you can say, I have got 20 rupees of satisfaction. Why? Because you are satisfied. That's why you're purchasing that commodity. That's why you're ready to pay 20 rupees. But if you're not willing to pay 20 rupees for that first apple, that means you're not getting satisfaction. Right? So that's what. So we can give some values to our satisfaction level. Okay? In the same way, this topic we are going to read later on, that is the ordinal utility. Today we are going to read about cardinal utility approach. Just see what is the meaning of the cardinal approach. There is a lot of orders names are given. We don't have to read about it. Like we just major thing is utility was measured in a cardinal sense, which means that the difference between two measurement is itself numerically significant. Whenever two values are given, the difference between two values is nothing but utility. Okay, students? Methods of measuring utility. There are different methods through which we can use I would say measure utility. One is diminishing method, another one is I would say like one commodity measure and two commodity measure. That is diminishing marginal utility is also there, that we are going to read in the further chapter. Today we are going to read about the marginal utility. What is marginal utility and what is total utility? Before reading that, I'll tell you one thing once again. That is, suppose if the person is willing to pay 20 rupees per apple, then he can say that 20 units of utility he got from this apple. But suppose if he's not willing and if he gets banana, so what will happen? He's not interested in buying banana. He will get zero utility from the banana. Whereas if he'll get the banana apple, then he will get satisfaction from the same. One more example I'll give you if you don't understand this example. If there is a carpenter, if he goes to the market just to buy a saw, right? But if he's not getting, the ironsmith tells him that instead of saw, I'll give you a scissor at a low price. You can use it. Do you think that he will get equal satisfaction? No, because you don't require saw. Saw can be required by a barber to just cut the hair. I'm to say scissors can be required by barber to cut the hair. But carpenter may not require that. He might not be having any utility by that product. So whenever we are getting satisfaction from purchasing a commodity, or whenever the commodity will be useful to us, that's why we are going to get the satisfaction from that commodity. And then you can say in another word, whenever the commodity is useful to us, we'll be getting satisfaction, and then only we can say there is some utility for that particular commodity. Otherwise, there is zero utility. Understood, students? Next, what is total utility and marginal utility? Let's check. Total utility is the total benefit that a person gets from the consumption of goods and services. As I said, if a person is consuming apples one after another, suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, continuously 4 apples is eating. So after eating the 4 apples, whatever satisfaction he derived by all the 4 apples, that is called total utility. But what is marginal utility then? Just see, the expression marginal is a key term in economics and always means additional or extra. That means after consuming the first apple, when he just consumed the second apple, that is additional apple ate, and the additional one, whatever the second apple satisfaction he got, that is called marginal utility. Not jointly of both the apples, but only the satisfaction derived by the second apple. Once again, note it down, students. I'm not telling the satisfaction derived by first and second apple. The satisfaction derived by first and second apple will be total utility. But wherever, if we'll talk about only satisfaction derived by only the second apple, is called marginal utility. Understood? That is additional or extra. Okay. Marginal utility denotes the additional utility you get from the consumption of an additional unit of a commodity. How we can measure marginal utility? Change in total utility upon change in quantity. Okay, student? Change in total utility upon change in quantity. You can check the same thing with the help of a curve and schedule. Here it's given, like here lot of units, like one after another, lot of units, still 7 units are consumed by person. So whenever he'll get zero, when he will consume 0 unit, obviously the total utility will be 0, and there is no marginal utility. Why? Because nothing utility is getting from the 0 unit. When he'll consume the first unit, right, he'll get 10 rupees worth of satisfaction. We can say the total utility derived by the first unit is 10. And at the same time, we can say the marginal utility is also 10. Why? Because the difference from the 0 and 1 is nothing but 10. So like the 10 units he got it. Now second unit, whenever he consumes, he get total utility is 18. That means not second, 1 and 2 units. When he consumes 2 units, he is getting 18 worth of satisfaction, 18 rupees worth of satisfaction. But if we'll talk about second unit, only second, I'm not talking 2, right? Second unit, when he's talking, then he is getting only 8 rupees worth of satisfaction. So this is called marginal utility. Understood? Now you can see here also one more example is given, and how can we draw the curve, that also is given. See, total utility should always take on the y curve, whereas quantity consumed should be, you should take on x curve, right? I mean to say x axis and y axis. In the same way, you can just jot down all the dots, and you can just assemble all the dots, and you can just get the curve over here, marginal utility and total utility. Okay, this is a separate curve is shown. Okay. Now we'll just read about the relationship between the total utility and marginal utility. What is the relationship between both the things, both the concepts? Let's check. See, there are 4 relationships. First, we are going to read the first one. That is when marginal utility is positive, total utility keeps on increasing. Note it down, students. When marginal utility is positive, total utility keeps on increasing. Okay. How? Let's check with the help of a schedule. When marginal utility is keep on diminishing, from 20 it becomes 18, 18 becomes 15, 15 becomes 11, 11 it becomes 6, right? It is keep on diminishing. It is positive, but here it will keep on increasing, right? Total utility will keep on increasing. See the same thing with the help of a, what happened here, 20 will give 20 worth of satisfaction, 18, that is marginal utility is 18 by the second unit, and you will get total utility is 38. Why? Because 20 plus 18 will give you 38, and then all the 3 combined, that is 38 plus 15 also you can say, or you can say 20 plus 18 plus 15, you can say you will get 53, right? In the same way, all 4 if you add, 64 you'll get, all 5 if you add, you'll get 70. So this is called total utility. It is keep on increasing, and marginal utility is positive over here. Till this level, it is positive. Okay, students, margin utility is decreasing, but it is positive, and total utilities keep on increasing, but at diminishing rate. Now let's check what is the second relationship. The second, no, oh sorry. First, let's check with the help of a curve, that what happens. See here, from L to M, the marginal utilities keep on decreasing. Now we'll see about the second relationship. When marginal utility falls, total utility increases at a decreasing rate. When marginal utility falls, the total utility increases at decreasing rates. Right? This is second relationship. Let's check how it happens. You can see here marginal utility is falling. Right? This is marginal utility. This is marginal utility is falling. Okay. And what happens to the total utility? You can say it is increasing but at diminishing rate. Right? Check with the help of another graph. The difference between both the things is 18. Once again, here also difference is 15. Difference is 11. It is keep on increasing but at diminishing rate, not at the same ratio it is increasing. The first gap is of 18, but the second gap is of 15. That is, it is increasing but at decreasing rate, at diminishing rate. Understood, students? Why? Because MU is keep on diminishing. See, it's here. What happened? Marginal is keep on diminishing till it reaches 0. It is keep on diminishing. It is decreasing, right? Till here it is positive. Now this one, you can say from L to K, it is positive. It is increasing, but at diminishing rate. Okay, students. Let's check. This is graphical presentation. Now let's check about the third relationship. Marginal utility is 0. Total utility is maximum. Marginal utility is 0. Whenever the marginal utility is 0, the total utility, that is TU, is maximum. How? Just check. When the sixth unit is consumed, at that time, the marginal utility derived by the sixth unit is 0. Why? Because the consumer don't require any more units. This is the level where he's getting some negative energy, or he's getting no satisfaction from the consumption of the sixth unit. He's getting 0 satisfaction level. And when he is getting 0 satisfaction level, what happens to the total utility? It will remain constant, and it is a maximum. Just see, before this particular stage also it is maximum. But this stage, after this, it will keep on falling. Why? Because this is the maximum and constant. So you can say that when marginal utility is 0, the total utility is maximum and also constant. Maximum and constant. This is your third relationship. Let's check what happened to the curve. You can see here from L to K, the total utilities keep on increasing and the marginal utility is diminishing till the point M, and from K to M, this is the maximum level. How? Because this is the highest point. Total utility is maximum and also constant. This is the total utility maximum level. After this point, the total utility will start falling. Why? Because marginal utility will become negative. Just check the fourth point. Can you understand? So when marginal utility is negative, total utility is decreasing till the point total utility was increasing. Before all the points, the total utility was decreasing, increasing, but at decreasing rate. But here, the total utility will start falling. Let's check how. Now see here, after 0, when marginal utility, after consuming the sixth unit, the person is getting 0 level of satisfaction. That is called 0 marginal utility. So now after that, if you consume one more unit, what will happen? Some negative result he will get. Either he will start vomiting, right? Something like that. So we can say the result will be negative. That is -5 worth of marginal utility will be there. So in that case, what will happen? The total utility will start falling. From 70, it becomes 65. Understood? Understood, student? In the same way, here you can say it is -11, and here also it's keep on falling, right? The same thing we can see with the help of curve. This is the curve. You can see from K till here, it is keep on falling. TU, after the point K, it will start falling. Why? Because see, this K point, at that level, you can say M is the maximum, but it is 0. After this, it will become negative. Okay, students, so today, what we have studied: utility, cardinal utility, total and marginal utility, relationship between the TU and MU. TU and MU is nothing but total and marginal utility, total utility and marginal utility. just go through the chapter thoroughly, revise it, and any doubt means you can contact me, or you can just note it down in your that one doubt session. Okay, thank you, students.